Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Perfect Acceleration Sim Racing, and welcome to round 2 of the TOCA Juniors official eSeries. Round 2 brings us to Croft Circuit. Myself, Jack Werrell, will be joining you in the commentary box once again this evening and for the final 2 rounds upcoming. Tom O'Farrell will be trying to keep up with all of the action we have here at Croft this evening, and of course our series organiser Mick Sutton at Perfect Acceleration Sim Racing. Silverstone last week, very busy indeed. We saw plenty of on-track action, and in the week interim we've seen plenty of off-track chats, discussions, figuring out where we can pick up those extra couple of tenths around the Croft circuit. Of course, tonight at Croft, as we've said, next week we go to Brands Hatch on the Indy layout. That is going to be a brilliant round, and to round out the season, only 4 rounds but 8 races, we head to Alton Park on the Island layout. Absolutely want to come back for, so plenty to look forward to. And in terms of what they are racing for, points and prizes are awarded per class. Remember, we are split into juniors and seniors. Seniors run the yellow numbers in the window, juniors run the white numbers. If you win your respective class, you get your hands on a pair of weekend admission tickets to a 2025 British Touring Car Championship round of your choosing, and the driver of the round receives a PASR cap. Last week it was Jake Critchley that got the driver of the round, but who left Silverstone on top of the championship standings? How close are the drivers to getting their hands on a pair of BTCC tickets? Well, at the moment, Nathan Williams 4 points clear of the juniors on 35 points. Albert Henriksen Bell on 31, tied with Charlie Devlin, picking up a 2-point penalty for the following on from Silverstone. Elliot Dalton-Ayres is only 5 points back from the championship lead on 30 points, 4 points back from there from Gabriel Norse. And then now we'll let you read into the following standings as you wish. Tom Potter, Jake Critchley and Jack Price all tied on 15 points for 7th place in the juniors. As far as the seniors go, Nicky Taylor came into this evening tied for the championship lead with Kyle Felmus on 36 points. Unfortunately, Nicky is in Venice. Well, I say unfortunately, Nicky will be having a great time indeed, especially from what we've seen on social media. So he won't leave Croft leading the championship, even more so because Jordan Taylor on 35 points, only a point back in 3rd place. So it's going to be between Kyle and Jordan this evening. Don't rule out Leo Bell on 26 points. Callum Williams is in 5th place on 20 points. A point back from there, you've got Jacob Gannon, 2 points, Peter Cornelius. We've also got Matt Raid, pardon me, and Ollie Hutton tied on 15 points for 8th place, and I will let you read into the following points as you wish. 15 points seems to be the hot number at the moment. We've got, I think, 5 separate drivers spread over 2 classes, all on 15 points, so we may end up with drivers sort of racing inter-class. We've not just got those general rivalries in class, we will have inter-class rivalries as well. It's going to be an enthralling night, and at the moment, fastest of them all in qualifying is Nathan Williams, albeit I think we've only had a couple of laps under our belt. 1.5 seconds clear on a 1:44.097. On a 1:45.592 is Elliot Newbury at the moment, but still more time to find, I am sure, Nathan up in Sector 1 on his previous lap, so we may see yet further of an improvement. He will be arriving at Sector 2 just as he heads into the complex. Through Sunny Out he will go over the minor rise, which may start to play an effect this evening, because whilst there's not vast amounts of undulation change or sort of altitude change, if you will, around the circuit, the undulation does change, so does the camber. Some curbs you can touch, some curbs you can't. Still up in Sector 2 is Nathan Williams. He does have a driver tucked up and behind him. Is that Charlie Devlin? Yes, it is. And armfuls of opposite lot gets the TOCA Junior pointing the right way again to Nathan Williams, styling out the hairpin on the run towards the line. Do we see him extend that pole margin by any more? Over the line he will go, and no improvement that time. Charlie Devlin, what about you, sir? Over the line, Charlie Devlin has gone and goes on to what I think will be his first valid flying lap, because Sector 1, or Sector 2 in the previous lap, didn't go his way, and Sector 1 for Nathan Williams hasn't gone his way either. Heading through Clairvaux, ran very, very wide indeed. Kyle Felbus arrives at the top of the time, or towards the top of the times, on a 1:44.687. Gabriel North with a huge jump up the order. Albert Henriksen Bell follows suit, so there's going to be lots of chopping and changing on the timing tower on your left-hand side. If you want to pick between the classes, as we mentioned earlier, drivers with the yellow numbers are in the TOCA Seniors, and drivers with the white numbers are in the TOCA Juniors. Let's have a quick look as to how the TOCA Juniors are lining up in respect to their class. Nathan Williams, pole outright, pole in class. Then it's Elliot Dalton as second back, followed by Tom Potter, Gabriel Norse, Elliot Newbury, and Dino Rowlands. There is Tom Potter, who races absolutely everything. I'm convinced every day of the week there'll be a sim racing series somewhere which has got Tom Potter's name on it. So just heading into Sunny Inn, he's almost 3/10 up by the time we got through Sector 1 on his previous lap, or on his best lap, pardon me. As we go through Sunny Out over that small crest as we mentioned, and then it's into the complex, which is rather aptly named. It can get very complex indeed, because turning and braking in a race car is usually a no-go, but you absolutely have to do it and maximise the momentum, even more so in these cars, just to try and get a quick lap. So Tom Potter continues to improve. Around the left-hand hairpin he will go onto the start-finish straight once more. We may see Tom Potter get onto the front row of the TOCA Juniors, or maybe not, because a massive improvement from Charlie Devlin puts him 38 thousandths clear of Nathan Williams. Tom Potter does improve onto a 1:44.902, so within a second of the pole time now is Tom Potter. How about the TOCA Seniors? Kyle Felbus is leading that class on a 1:44.687. He is then being followed by Gannon, who's a little bit further down the order. Jacob Gannon in 9th place outright. Kyle Felbus at the moment in 3rd place overall, 1.2 seconds away. But Jacob Gannon, he's lost a bit in Sector 1. He's gained a bit back in Sector 2. Ollie Hutton with a big improvement of a 1:46.123. So he climbs up into 3rd place. Jacob Gannon over the line, no improvement, but could be going on to a flyer now. Jordan Taylor, what can he do? 22 seconds away, a non-representative time, being hunted down by Albert Henriksen Bell. Over the line goes Jordan Taylor, and remains where he is onto another flying lap. Leo Bell with a big jump up the order of a 1:45.738, so he's almost within a second of Kyle Felbus. TOCA Seniors tonight is rather strung out compared to what we saw at Silverstone. Albert Henriksen Bell desperately trying to get up the inside of Jordan Taylor, but Jordan manages to speed well heading through the chicane. Onto back straight he will go. Is he going to get a bit of a nudge from Albert Henriksen Bell in an effort to speed each other up? Yes, he is. So Jordan Taylor in towards Tower Bend. Tricky braking zone as it does start to bump around a little bit just as you hit the brakes. There's the bumps. There's a section of curve you can use, a section of curve that will just push you back off and then run wide on the exit of Tower Bend. Towards the jump park Estes he will go. Flat out through the left, flat out through the right. Watch track limits on the exit. All of the circuit and a bit more is being used. You can see why you've got to be so careful on the exit. It's not just straight to the grass, so it lulls you into using a bit of that exit. Sunny in, again, a tricky braking zone, especially as you're driving into shadows. Your depth perception be played around with a little bit. Through Sunny out we will go. Great to see an onboard shot of what Jordan Taylor can do around here, and just how daunting it can be to have Albert Henriksen Bell or any of the other drivers we've got out on circuit hunting you down and chasing you around. It's Croft circuit, on the brakes, avoid the lockup, flick the car in, a bit too much oversteer for Jordan Taylor, but he managed to hold it well, and I don't think he'd affected it minimum speed that badly. So again, flicks the car into the hairpin, so aggressive on the control, just to try and get the front end exactly where he wants it and allow the rear end just to follow suit towards the line. What can Jordan Taylor do? Has it been clean up until this point? Yes, it has. Jordan Taylor over the line with 1 minute 44.789. All of a sudden, that closes him in onto the TOCA Senior pole, and even more so onto the outright pole position. 0.73 of a second, pardon me, away from outright pole position for Jordan Taylor. A bit of time to find, but a huge jump up the order. And that puts him on the outside of the second row of the grid and shuffles Tom Potter down to 5th place. There is Gunnar Wright. What can Gunnar do? Our way of climbing up the order, 3.4 seconds away from pole. We'd expect, at least on this lap, to pick up more time. Nathan Williams is now going to mount a challenge on Charlie Devlin to take pole position back away again. Towards the start-finish line they will go. Nathan Williams has improved so far on this lap, but so too is Charlie Devlin on his previous best over the line. This is going to get close, isn't it? So they both go quicker, but Nathan Williams goes quicker still, at 1 minute 43.889. Charlie Devlin with a 1 minute 43.979. So by 900ths of a second, Nathan Williams is now a provisional pole sitter. Charlie Devlin very, very aggressive through Clairvaux indeed. So that will invalidate this lap at least. We'll see what he can do about potentially, if anything, he's helping Nathan Williams around here to improve upon that time once more. So we are now into the 1 minute 43s. The two drivers we're watching, the only two drivers to get to that barrier at present. Kyle Felbus, you'd imagine, maybe the next one to do it, that or Jordan Taylor. These two absolutely nose to tail. Albert Henriksen Bell with a big improvement last time through as well, a 1 minute 44.664. That puts him almost within 3/4 of a second of the provisional pole time for which he will be looking for. Ollie Hutton, unfortunately, is that an end to his qualifying session. Matt Ride has had a bit of a moment heading through the hairpin, so he gets the car rejoined. So I would assume the pair of those two have had a coming together at one point or another and then get back going once again. I think Matt Ride was almost self-officiating there to try and get himself slowed back down. So the pair of them are teammates, potentially working together, which makes you think that they're trying to find either a clean section of circuit to work together or taking it in turns as to exactly who is going to lead each other around. And we saw how valuable the aerodynamic assistance was at Silverstone, and clearly valuing that here at Croft as well. Still being chased around by Albert Henriksen Bell is Jordan Taylor. We may see an improvement this time as well from Jordan Taylor, potentially onto the second row of the grid if he keeps going at this current rate. There's a bit of traffic up the road that, of course, he will have to deal with, but everybody is on the same circuit, dealing with the same traffic. A bit of a move from Tom Potter there, so Thomas Potter into 6th place. Dino Rowlands improved upon his time as well. Jordan Taylor and Albert Henriksen Bell into the final corner at the hairpin. Albert opting for the faster exit. You can see the wider line on the way in to cut back, take the late apex. You can pick up the throttle slightly earlier. Towards the line they will go, and just about be able to squeeze another couple of laps out of this qualifying session. Neither improve on that occasion. An improvement from Jake Wardle a little further down the order. Gabriel Norse is looking for a very, very wide line indeed. Striking livery on that car. You won't miss that in a hurry. Gabriel will be looking for, I think, a bit more time, because 1.5 seconds away from pole isn't somewhere you generally see Gabriel Norse. He was fighting away for wins last season in the Junior Saloon Car Championship Official eSeries, Season 3 that series. Hopefully season 4 is waiting in the wings. Ollie Watson improves further down the order as well, onto a 47.512. So the improvements are coming. It's just, are we going to run out of time prior to seeing anything further? Elliot Dalton-Ayres through sector 1 has improved upon his personal fastest. What can he do by the time we break the beam at sector 2? Charlie Devlin is now hunting down Nathan Williams, so those two have swapped around and of course are fighting each other in the championship. We must take a moment to of course thank the supporters of the TOCA Junior official eSeries, that being Maron Freight, Mongrip, Monte Carlo, and of course everybody at Perfect Acceleration Sim Racing. Towards the line we go. Will we see an improvement from Nathan Williams, Charlie Devlin or Elliot Dalton-Ayres? Over the line they go. Elliot Dalton-Ayres does improve by a big way, a 1 minute 44.572. That now puts him on the inside of the second row of the grid, so really starting to push on now is Elliot. I think just ran slightly too wide, however, on the exit of Clairvaux, and that will be the final lap of his session, unfortunately going the way of track limits. Nathan Williams and Charlie Devlin last time through, both of them breaking track limits at turn 1. This time I think it was just Nathan that did so. So the checkered flag has come out. Ollie Watson the first to take it as he has opted to go to the pit lane. Leo Bell over the line improves onto a 1 minute 45.324 and takes the checkered flag whilst doing so. Tom Potter is up in sector 1. Sam Chilton return E for this evening. We didn't see him at Silverstone, but we've seen him plenty of times here at Perfect Acceleration Sim Racing. Takes the checkered flag and climbs up to 15th place. Gabriel Norse improves yet further up into 8th place. Kyle Velvet improves onto a 1 minute 44.649, I believe it was. Yes, it was, and jumped his way up into 4th place whilst taking the checkered flag. Matt Raid, pardon me. I will eventually get that right this evening. He opts for the pit lane after no further improvement. Jake Critchley could be on for a good improvement. Currently sat in 12th place. We could see him into the depths of the top 10 if he manages to get to the line and strings the whole lap together. Lost a little bit in the final sector, unfortunately remains in 12th place. Over the line goes Aaron Beattie. No improvement in terms of position for him on a 47.676. Who else do we have towards the line? Nathan Williams is purple in sector 1, but purple in sector 2, but down in sector 1. Here comes Thomas Potter. Not had the best sector 2, but we could still see an improvement if he's managed to navigate the complex well. Over the line he will go, remains in 7th place for now. Through the final corner comes Peter Cornelius, so just nibbling at the exit curbing. And can Peter Cornelius do anything about picking up any final few scraps in qualifying? No, the final driver to come through will be Albert Henriksen-Bell, who's just coming towards the line now. Of course, we've got the 3 KKM teammates, Peter Cornelius, Ollie Hutton and Matt Raid, all of which are 7th, 8th and 9th in the championship. Ollie Hutton and Matt Raid arguably are both 8th in the championship, tied on 15 points. But that is qualifying complete already here at Croft, so this will set the grid for race number 1. Into the commentary box we've got both our pole sitters, so in the first instance outright pole position and the junior pole position goes the way of Nathan Williams. Nathan, every week it seems to happen. Back in the box, good start to your night.
Yeah, it's a very good start. It's a good lap on that very last lap, and I'm quite pleased to be in pole.
We saw you were being chased by Charlie, and we know how crucial the aerodynamic assistance was at Silverstone. Would you say it's more important, less important here at Croft? Because obviously you've got some slightly slower corners compared to what we saw at Silverstone. So does it help you make up for maybe a low speed corner?
Yeah, it's not as good as it was in Silverstone, but it's still very important. It's like before the session, me and Charlie decided we'd go out together and sort of just help each other. It never really went to plan as much as we wanted, but obviously I still came out with pole, so I'm quite happy with it.
And in terms of the rest of the night, we know that pole position is one thing, race 1 quite the other, and race 2, nobody really knows what's going to happen. Do you think Croft will pose a slightly unique challenge in comparison to Silverstone, because it is slightly narrower at points? It's still got those high speed sections, but slightly heavier braking zones. We've got the complex, aptly called the complex, because it is a very complex section of circuit. Obviously there's more overtaking opportunities as well, so do you think race 2 is going to be a busy job?
Yeah, I think it's a bit different to Silverstone in terms of how the battle will happen, because it is possible to defend the position even with somebody behind on the slipstream, but it's still very much going to be pack racing like it was in Silverstone, just trying to use the bump draft and the slipstream to help you, and then it's just be in the right position on the right lap to take the win.
Great stuff. Well, hopefully we will see that ring true, and in 20 minutes' time, you never know, we might be chatting again.
Yeah, hopefully.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Congratulations, Nathan, and best of luck for race number 1.
Thank you.
And once again, Kyle Felbert back in the commentary box. Kyle, 4th on the grid. That is pole position in the seniors. Is there something you've got up your sleeve? Is it that race pace that maybe sets you apart from the rest, or was there anything left in quali that maybe you could have extracted from the car?
Oh, there was definitely stuff left in quali. I mean, I only started practicing about 6 o'clock this evening, so I didn't really leave myself much time. But you know, senior pole, I'll take that, and then just race, try and keep it clean, and see how far we can make.
So what you're saying is we're going to see continuous improvement throughout the evening, absolutely 0 mistakes, and run through and take 2 wins?
Sure.
Well, fingers crossed. And I suppose, like Nathan said, it's very much going to be pack racing. So out and out race pace, do you think that really plays a part, or is it more making sure you're in the right position at the right time?
I think you just got to stay in the toe, and then you should be good.
Great stuff. Well, we'll look forward to seeing how that goes for you. Best of luck in race number 1, and congrats on the TOCA Senior Class pole.
Cheers.
Always mega to chat to Kyle as well. Of course, we heard from him a lot in Season 2 of the Junior Saloon Car Championship official eSeries. So prior to going racing this evening, let's have a quick word from our supporters. So welcome back, everybody. You can see the grid has formed here at Croft, and we were looking in the interim that whilst we saw Nathan Williams and Charlie Devlin on the front row working together, on the third row we saw Albert Henriksen Bell and Jordan Taylor working together. Those two in the middle, Elliot Dalton-Ayres and Kyle Felbus, were effectively flying solo through qualifying. So to set those lap times and be where they are is very, very impressive indeed. And we must also take a moment just to look at the fabulous array of liveries we've got on the grid. And some of the drivers have had vast amounts of input into exactly what they want their car to look like. And I have to say, there isn't a bad looking car on the grid. They have done a brilliant job indeed in getting this grid formulated and brought together. A massive grid once again. 26 cars join us on the grid for hopefully both races this evening. And the thing is, we're looking towards the tail end of the order now with Ollie Wilcox and Catherine Potter. By no means does that mean you can count them out. You can be towards the tail end of the order and still come through and get a cracking result, as we saw at Silverstone for a number of drivers. There were some brilliant comeback drives on display, and I really think we will see further at Croft this evening. So the lights are being readied. We will get 6 red lights, and then we can get the first race of the second round of the championship underway. So round number 2 of the TOCA Juniors official eSeries here at Croft is go. Who gets the best start? Good start from Nathan Williams, gets the initial jump. The second phase of the start is matched by Charlie Devlin, who immediately falls in line. Everybody else thereafter is just trying to close the door and make sure that they remain as to where they started. All of the circuit being used by our front row. Does everybody keep it the right side of the white line for the first time of asking? I think we had a few just wandering over track limits, but at the moment Nathan Williams, he's now coming under big pressure from Charlie Devlin, who almost got edged towards the tyre bale. So for Charlie Devlin and Nathan Williams, now the game plan has to be just run away, but Charlie Devlin really doesn't want to run with that, so he's already looking up the inside in towards Tower Bend. The inside is favourable on the way in. On the way out, you can fall foul of that nasty curve that we spoke about in qualifying. Contact between the pair of them, that just pushes Nathan Williams wide, and the line favours Charlie Devlin. There's the change for the lead. Issues for Gannon, unfortunately, as he drops yet further down the order. So unfortunately for Jacob Gannon, he finds himself right the way down in 24th place. Clearly some sort of calamity at Tower Bend for him. Charlie Devlin coming over to defend as much as possible from Nathan Williams. That leaves Nathan vulnerable to Kyle Felvers, who has a small look around the outside in towards Sunny Inn. He then cuts back up the inside on the way in towards Sunny Inn. Manages to meet the apex first, and by the time they get to Sunny out, Kyle Felvers up into second place. And all of a sudden, Elliot Dalton-Ayres is there as well to close the gap and increase the pressure onto Nathan Williams. Jordan Taylor really isn't too far away at all. Albert Henriksen Bell and Thomas Potter in the background having a brilliant little battle into the complex. Those two go absolutely side by side. Thomas Potter goes slightly deep. That allows Albert Henriksen Bell just to sneak his way up the inside. Does he manage to make it work? Kyle Felvers into the tail of Charlie Devlin, who gets straightened out by Nathan Williams. And normality resumes, 2 by 2 on to the start-finish straight. Nathan Williams leading from Charlie Devlin. Then it's Kyle Felvers, Elliot Dalton-Ayres, Jordan Taylor and Albert Henriksen Bell all absolutely together. What a first lap it was for Kyle Felvers. He was looking good for the lead. Unfortunately, with that bit of contact at the final corner, they've just hampered themselves, but still with 18 minutes to go, there's plenty of racing to be done. Nathan Williams runs slightly wide on the exit of Clairvaux, so that washes him wide of the curbing. Charlie Devlin goes through and take the lead, and Kyle Felvers has been spun through 180 degrees, gets the car pointing the right way again, but unfortunately the third plate he was in goes rattling down the order. Also involved, unfortunately, is the car of Jack Price. So Jack Price spun round, unfortunately, I think just slightly unsighted, didn't spot Kyle Felvers on the exit of the corner and was running out of grip by way of avoidance and just dropped himself into the door of Kyle. Charlie Devlin still leads the way from Nathan Williams. Now Jordan Taylor has inherited third place, albeit it's not going to come easy with Elliot Dalton-Ayres, or with Elliot Dalton-Ayres still there, and Albert Henriksen Bell still there. Tom Potter has got a brilliant view of those cars up the road and will just be waiting in the wings for a small mistake and start picking up those places if and when he can get them. Don't rule Tom Potter out for an overall podium in this race. Up the inside of Jordan Taylor goes Elliot Dalton-Ayres. Jordan Taylor washes wide. Charlie Devlin and Nathan Williams were side by side for the lead. Albert Henriksen Bell comes absolutely out of nowhere. So too does Thomas Potter. He's starting to push on now. I said don't rule him out for an outright podium. He's trying to get there early. Elliot Dalton-Ayres maintains third place with 3 cars all trying to get by him. Nathan Williams up the inside of Charlie Devlin for the lead. So Nathan Williams is now leading the pack. Jordan Taylor desperately trying to hold on to third place and does so for the moment. Running wide is Nathan Williams, and that's not going to be first place gone. That's going to be the podium places gone. Down into 4th place for him, albeit he might pick up some aerodynamic assistance from the cars up the road and has elbowed Albert Henriksen Bell out of the draft, meaning that Nathan Williams will reap the rewards from that. So too might Thomas Potter, ever the optimist, up the inside. Potentially Jordan Taylor for the lead on the inside of Charlie Devlin. There's a bit of door-to-door rubbing between the pair of them. Brilliant stuff that they can race this close. But somehow Charlie Devlin just about manages to hold station for the moment. Jordan Taylor holds on to 2nd place. Elliot Dalton-Ayres in 3rd. Nathan Williams trying to make up for the small mistake at the final corner and get himself back into the top 3. Elliot Dalton-Ayres just up the road, but we've got Albert Henriksen Bell in the rearview mirror of Nathan Williams. Thomas Potter is there. Don't rule out Leo Bell either. He's starting to reel them in. Charlie Devlin goes slightly deep into the corner. That opens the door for Jordan Taylor, but there's not quite enough of an overlap. 3 wide with Elliot Dalton-Ayres, Albert Henriksen Bell and Thomas Potter all heading towards the Jim Clark S's. This is going to be brave if we're going to go 3 wide through here. Yet further contact, they're still 3 wide. Avoid the tyre bail, which they all do. Elliot Dalton-Ayres somehow manages to keep it just about within track limits, and we're no longer 3 wide. We're still 2 wide, however, so close between them. And does Albert Henriksen Bell manage to get the move done? Nope, still side by side. So the duo fighting over 4th and 5th place are side by side. Then we've got Thomas Potter and Leo Bell all fighting away. Tom Potter might be going for 4th place here. A look to the inside. No, Albert Henriksen Bell slams the door in his face and decides he's not going to get it there. In towards the complex they will go. Elliot Dalton-Ayres with a look to the inside of Thomas Potter, who gets all out of shape, gets the car collected once again. Place Charlie Devlin in 3rd, and then we get back to the brilliant battle we were watching a few moments ago, still being led by Albert Henriksen Bell and Tom Potter, Elliot Dalton-Ayres and Gabriel Norse. Leo Bell is still in and amongst that little battle. Nathan Williams still trying to find his way through and past. Albert Albert Henriksen Bell has absolutely flown up the order once again, and he's on the coattails of those top three. It's now Thomas Potter leading the battle behind. So it's 4 for the lead. Jordan Taylor in the lead 4 now. That may change by the time we get to Tower Bend. Will it be Charlie Devlin, Nathan Williams, or Albert Henriksen Bell that manages to take the lead away? Along the back straight we will go. Charlie Devlin is the first one to have a look onto the inside of Jordan Taylor. On the brakes, we know it works. Can Charlie Devlin get the move done this time? There's still a bit of an overlap. We know the outside line isn't great on the way in, but it's not quite so good on the way out, unfortunately, for Jordan Taylor. So Charlie Devlin into the lead of the race. Nathan Williams and Albert Henriksen Bell left to watch along in 3rd and 4th place, respectively. Thomas Potter is still leading that pack behind, putting a bit of distance between himself and Gabriel Norse as well. Unfortunately for Ollie Hutton, he's found himself pointing the wrong way. Leo Bell has picked the pocket of Elliot Dalton-Ayres, heading through the quick right-hander at Barcroft. Sunny in, they remain as they were, but Elliot Dalton-Ayres trying to nip his way up the inside. The recovering Kyle Felmers on an absolute mission, flying up the inside of Dino Rowlands. But back to the front, Jordan Taylor is going to try and apply yet further pressure onto Charlie Devlin, who at this point a lap ago was pointing effectively completely the wrong way and was dropping down the order. He's back to the lead. That's how close the racing is. So on the brakes they go. Jordan Taylor closes in, but it's not quite enough. So Charlie Devlin leads the way from Jordan Taylor. Nathan Williams and Albert Henriksen Bell in 4th place. Thomas Potter rounds out your top 5. Then Gabriel Norse, Jacob Gallen in the middle of the road, trying to decide whether to go forwards or back. He couldn't go forward because there was an immovable tyre bale and didn't want to go backwards and back onto the racing line. Expertly navigates that, however, and gets back going once again. Charlie Devlin still leading the way. Thomas Potter wandering over track limits, I think arriving at turn 1 just that little bit too quick, but still pushing on, trying to run away from the cars behind. Gabriel Norse all sorts of out of shape on the exit of Clairvaux. Through the chicane they will go. Through Hawthorne Bend, that really long right-hander, that's where the car starts to unsettle. Charlie Devlin with the biggest lead we've seen him have up until this point of an entire 0.6 of a second. Nathan Williams applying yet further pressure onto Jordan Taylor. Look how close Thomas Potter's getting. He's starting to close in. I think Gabriel Norse is somewhat bridging the gap between himself and Thomas Potter up the road. Elliot Dalton-Ayres behind, riding on board with Kyle Felmers, who he said he's recovering. He got past Dino Rowlands and Leo Bell on the lap prior. Can he do the same to Elliot Dalton-Ayres this time? We know he likes to move in towards Sunny in. Through the quick right-hander at Barcroft and on the brakes, we may see the change there. Jordan Taylor has lost out to Nathan Williams. Dino Rowlands, unfortunately, has lost a couple of places. He had a small mistake. Did we see him in the background? Yes, there we go. So he does appear, but he's lost a lot of time and is now well within the grasp of Elliot Newbury. Nathan Williams is still leading that train behind of Jordan Taylor, Albert Henriksen Bell and Thomas Potter. There is Elliot Newbury. We said he started to close in on Dino Rowlands, who goes defensive in towards the complex, dives on the brakes. You see the nose of the car point downwards as they put every effort into slowing down, and Jake Wardle, who is a lap down, is jumping out of the way. Clever driving from Jake, fair play for getting out of the way of what is a very long train of cars, all fighting over their respective places inside that top 10. So Charlie Devlin still leads the way with now a 1 second advantage over Nathan Williams, but that may close down as Jordan Taylor isn't as close as we saw him just a few moments ago. So that pressure has been relieved from Nathan Williams. Albert Henriksen Bell is now bringing the fight to Jordan Taylor, trying to get onto the outright podium. Jordan Taylor still leading the senior class. Kyle Felmers will be trying to get back up to that point after starting on pole position in the senior class. Thomas Potter not that far away. There he is in the background, the sort of silvery grey car with the bright green flashes. He is starting to close in, as we say, on the rest of that top 3. Gabriel Norse isn't too far away. Ollie Wilcox, unfortunately, has his demise heading into Clairvaux. I don't know whether he lost it on the curb or on the way in, potentially. Whether there was contact, we simply don't know. Unfortunately, that drops him down the order into 21st place now for him. Jake Critchley is dropping down the order. I think there was a bit of contact between himself and Finlay just up the road. So those two resume their battle. Matt Raid not far away at all in the background either, so he will start to close in. Ollie Hutton is pointing the wrong way at Tower Bend. Gets the car back going again, albeit right the way down in 22nd place. There is Kyle Felmers still trying to unlock the door through and past Elliot Dalton-Ayres. It's not quite working for him at the moment, but what a brilliant comeback drive it has been so far. As soon as I mention it, here we go. Late on the brakes up the inside. Does Carl Felbus get the position? Yes, he does, up into 7th place, but does he get the exit he wants? There was absolutely nothing between them. But Carl Felbus just about holds on to 7th place. Now Elliot Dalton-Ayres might try and re-attack or start to work with him and push the pair of them up towards Gabriel North and even closer to that top 6. The lead marching up to 1.3 seconds now, so Charlie Devlin is starting to run away from Nathan Williams. Jordan Taylor in 3rd place, a further 2nd back, albeit his attention to being focused on Albert Henriksen Bell, who sat there in 4th. Tom Potter in 5th, only half a second away now, so we could see Tom Potter not only remaining inside the top 5, but climbing yet further. There is Aaron Beattie, who had a look at the inside of Ollie Watson, but Ollie Watson, but Ollie Watson couldn't do much about that big moment on the throttle for Aaron Beattie, and that will bring an end to that battle, I think. Almost contacting towards the hairpin, but in eagerness to get on the throttle and make up for lost time, Aaron Beattie unfortunately found the rear of his car starting to misbehave. Jordan Taylor now losing out to Albert Henriksen Bell and potentially Thomas Potter as well. Thomas Potter on his outside, slightly unsighted. They both get through there. No, they don't. Thomas Potter in towards the tyre bale. So Jordan Taylor and Thomas Potter bouncing off each other's doors, and they just caught it at the wrong time. And Thomas Potter into the tyre bale, heading through the Jim Clark S's. By the time he arrived at Markov, he'll be down in 11th place with a very fast approaching Peter Cornelius. He just shoots through shot there. So too does Harry Dios. But Thomas Potter, he was looking good for an outright podium. Well, and truly an in-class podium we could have seen on the cards there. Fortunately, at least for race number 1, it's got a lot of work to do and not much time to do it. Working our way further down the order to Jake Critchley, who I think was involved in a bit of a moment on the first lap. He's starting to get himself in a bit of a battle with Finley, as we saw starting a few laps ago. But now Matt Raid has closed in. Well, and truly so too as the car behind of Jack Price. We've seen Jack Price unfortunately pointing the wrong way at this previously in this race, but he is closing in again, back up into 17th place. It might be 16th soon enough, as he's pushing on very quickly indeed. Charlie Devlin's lead has come down from 1.3 seconds to 0.8 of a second, so half a second loss over the past couple of laps, mainly because Nathan Williams has gone through and set the fastest lap of the race with a 1:43.971. That would have been very quick in qualifying, let alone in the race. So a full 2/10 lost on the lap prior for Charlie Devlin, and I'm afraid it's only going to speed up, I think, as the aerodynamic assistance gets stronger and stronger the closer they get. Finley unfortunately loses out to Jake Critchley. We saw that battle starting to unfold. Jack Price does indeed get through and past Matt Raid. So those two have swapped around, and now Jack Price will be setting his attentions on the cars up the road. Peter Cornelius and Thomas Potter fighting away. Tom Potter on the inside. I think Peter had a little look around the outside, but it didn't quite work for him, and by the time they got to the exit, they weren't side by side. They're side by side once more. Flashbacks from a lap ago. Thomas Potter decides discretion to the better part of valour and jumps back in behind Peter Cornelius through the Jim Clark S's. Through Barcroft they will go. And Peter Cornelius has started to run away. I don't know whether Thomas Potter is now managing some damage and just trying to get the finish. 12th place, still an absolutely stellar result. Riding on board with Thomas Potter, yes, he does have some suspension damage, unfortunately. So you can see working hard at the controls just to keep the car exactly where he wants it, but that will affect performance. You can see just how much lock Mr. Potter's having to put into that car to try and get it to turn left. Turning right, it doesn't seem so bad. He more or less just straightens the wheel, but turning left, that's where it really struggles. Nathan Williams, he's really starting to close in on Charlie Devlin. You can see just by the body language of the cars, these two are absolutely extracting every ounce of performance out of these cars. Through the chicane they fly, and just hearing them, they're getting right to the top of the rev range, really pushing on at these two. In chase is Albert Henriksen Bell, followed by Jordan Taylor. And all of a sudden, Gabriel North has started to close in on Jordan Taylor. We could see Gabriel North going for top 4 outright. If he does, though, top 4 outright would be top 4 in the juniors as well. Jordan Taylor still leading the senior aspect of the race, but 1.5 seconds back from Jordan Taylor, that's Kyle Felbus. That will be an interclass battle. Here in the TOCA Juniors, you can see Jordan Taylor leading just up the road. There is Kyle Felbus, and you've got to remember where Kyle Felbus was, 10 laps ago. He was pointing the wrong way. We've just ticked past the 5-minute mark. With 5 minutes to go, 1.5 seconds isn't impossible at the rate of closure we've seen from Kyle Felbus. We could still see a change for the TOCA senior lead, but first, Carl Felbus needs to get through and past Gabriel Norse, which will be much easier said than done, but he can't afford a mistake because he's got Elliot Dalton Ayres still just behind. We saw those two swap around a few moments ago. By way of the TOCA Juniors, the top three, Charlie Devlin, Nathan Williams and Albert Henriksen Bell, are still your top three outright and top three juniors. Unfortunately, we've seen contact between Catherine Potter and another driver. I'm not sure exactly who it was involved. Was it Aaron Beattie that was involved? It seemed like that would fit the bill. So Aaron Beattie continues on through Tower Bend. You can see the car really starting to contour as he gets the car flicked into Tower Bend. So Charlie Devlin leads the way, still by 0.8 of a second. That lead gap hasn't come down as much as we'd expect. Jack Price still on a mission, having got through and past Ollie Wilcox a few moments ago. He's trying to do the same to Finley, albeit he's got Sam Chilton in tow. And he will be closing down those cars up the road. Finley getting all sorts of out of shape, held the exit of the hairpin and running towards the start-finish line once again. 9 laps completed, on to their 10th lap they will go. And look how close Jack Price is getting. Is he going to have a look in towards Clairvaux? It's a half look, and nothing more, I don't think, this time. There is Thomas Potter trying to make amends for the incident a few moments ago, and Jack Price is just filling the mirrors, but doing a really good job of it at the moment. So Finley will be feeling the pressure, but we said Sam Chilton is going to be getting closer, and he's very much a part of that battle now. He will be closing in and starting to apply pressure, making sure that Jack Price realises he needs to get the hurry up and try and work his way through and past Finley, which might just come this time. On the brakes in towards Tower Bend, is it going to work for him? Later on the brakes, leaves the turning in as late as possible to straighten out the exit, and through goes Jack Price. We may see Sam Chilton follow him through in a few moments' time as well. Harry Dios gets through and past Thomas Potter, who is, of course, managing that damage. He will lose out to Jake Critchley, I'm sure, in a few moments' time as well. In eagerness to come over and defend that position, there was a bit of contact between the pair of them, but fair play to Thomas for carrying on and keeping that car on the road. Back to the battle we mentioned a few moments ago. Kyle Felbert, he's not far away from Gabriel Norse, so that will be into the outright top 5, but more importantly, a step closer to the lead of the senior category. Looking back from Gabriel Norse, there is Kyle Felbert. Is he going to give a small push? Yes, he is. So there's the push. That will just hurry Gabriel Norse on a little bit and try and push him onto the coattails of Jordan Taylor and force the mistake that way. Carl Felbus will be gunning for this. Catherine Potter, unfortunately, involved in another, I think maybe a self-sustained spin there on the exit of Tower Bend. Jake Critchley has got through and past Harry Dios, or has he? On the run to the line there, absolutely side by side. No overlap anymore, however. So Jake Critchley thinks about coming over to defend, places the car in the middle of the road, makes it hard work for Harry Dios. On the brakes, flicks the car in. Is he going to keep it between track limits on the exit? Yes, he is. Fair play to Jake for doing so. And Harry Dios, he will be trying to hunt down Jake once more. Leo Bell, we've not mentioned much about him. He's currently sat 3rd place in the seniors, running around on his own. He's got 4.2 seconds back to Elliot Newbury and 3.8 seconds up to Elliot Dalton Ayres. So 3rd place in the seniors, so long as he can keep it on the road, he's looking rather safe indeed. Sam Chilton has now got through and past Finley. On the brakes in towards Tower Bend. It seemed like Finley just tried to cut across and get that position back. It didn't work for him, so there was a bit of contact between Finley and Sam, which allowed Tom Potter to end up in the firing line. Carl Felbus braver than ever around the outside in towards the complex, and now all of a sudden Kyle Felbus is going to be on to Jordan Taylor, and this will be a battle not only for overall position but for the overall lead in the TOCA senior class. So Jordan Taylor, with 30 seconds to go, on to the final lap of the race. He's got the last one more lap. Kyle Felbus, what a comeback drive. We said we would see one. I think we saw one from Kyle Felbus also at Silverstone. So if a race goes his way, really do keep an eye on him. Into Clairvaux for the final time go the duo. And then heading through Hawthorne Bend, are we going to see Kyle Felbus try and pick up a place here on Jordan Taylor? The best opportunity, at least in the first instance, will be towards Tower Bend. He'll be closing all the way along that back straight. Will they draw themselves level into the braking zone? Kyle Felbus opts for the outside, gets vast amounts of overspeed, contact in the braking zone, and Jordan Taylor again just delays that turning in to maximise the exit. Kyle Felbus gets the better of the two runs, however, heading towards the Jim Clark S's. We've seen this go wrong once. Hopefully we don't see it again, but Kyle Felbus is there, Jordan. He tries to close the door, get further contact between the pair of them, placing the car in the middle of the road without much respect for Kyle Felvis' space. Charlie Devlin is holding on to the lead. However, Jordan Taylor bouncing over the curb, so he won't manage to take the outright race lead. Is Kyle Felvis through past? No, not just as of yet. In towards Sunny in. Kyle Felvis on the inside, yet further contact. Jordan Taylor runs out of road on the exit. By the time they get to Sunny out, Kyle Felvis has taken the lead in the TOCA Junior, in the TOCA Seniors, pardon me. Gabriel Morse and Elliot Dalton Ayres waiting for something to go wrong. Those two might yet change around. Jordan Taylor with a late move to the inside. Kyle Felvis holds on to the lead through the final corner. It's going to be a run to the line, maybe for Charlie Devlin. No, Charlie Devlin remains in front of Nathan Williams, and for the first time this evening we'll see Charlie Devlin come through and take the win. Nathan Williams in second place. Gabriel Norse dives at the inside. We're 4 wide on the exit of the hairpin. Gabriel Norse finds the pit wall, unfortunately, after being tapped by Elliot Dalton Ayres. Jordan Taylor really has a look onto the inside of Kyle Felvis, but it will be Charlie Devlin that wins. Nathan Williams in second place. Albert Henriksen Bell crosses the line to finish in third. Kyle Felvis finishes in fourth place and takes the win in the TOCA Seniors. Jordan Taylor in fifth place, second in the TOCA Seniors, followed by Gabriel Norton and Elliot Dalton Ayres, who swapped places, I think, on the run to the line. Leo Bell finishes in eighth place and takes third place in the TOCA Seniors, rounding out the TOCA Senior podium. Elliot Newbury in ninth, Dino Rowlands in 10th place, Peter Cornelius recovers up into 11th place, Jake Critchley over the line just now in 12th, followed by Jack Price. It will then be Matt Reid, the next car to come through and take the checkered flag, in 14th place, followed then by Jacob Gannon and Finlay TW in 16th place. Sam Chilton crossing the line in 17th, Harry Dios in 18th, and Thomas Potter limping that car home, trying to get it home in 19th place, albeit Ollie Hutton is making that hard work through the final corner. I think he might just about do it, so Tom Potter tries to come home to defend and does so successfully. So it should be Thomas Potter towards the line. It's going to be very, very close indeed. No, Ollie Hutton just about nabs it on the line, finish in 19th place. Thomas Potter over the line in 20th. Oliver Watson over the line in 21st place. Owen Beattie 22nd. There goes Ollie Wilcox to finish in 23rd place. Gunnar Wright over the line in 24th, and it will be Catherine Potter who is the final car on the lead lap, finish in 25th place. We have already seen Jake Wardle take the checkered flag, albeit a lap down in 26th place. It doesn't get closer than that. How close was that towards the line between Kyle Felvis, Jordan Taylor, Gabriel Norse and Elliot Dalton Ayres? Wow, what a race. And if that isn't the perfect advert for the series, I don't know what is. It would be nice to get maybe both our winners from the juniors and the senior class into the commentary box, so we can grab a quick word from them prior to going for a very short break between the races. Charlie Devlin joins me in the commentary box. It seemed like that lead was secure until the very sort of final lap, didn't it, Charlie? He was really closing in.
Yeah, I was sort of keeping the gap stable enough. I knew Nathan was catching by maybe half a tenth or a tenth lap, but yeah, I didn't really think it was going to be enough. The last penultimate lap I made quite a big mistake, and obviously that allowed Nathan to get back into the slipstream. And I really was starting to get a bit worried, and then started making more and more mistakes, which obviously got him closer and closer. But Sonny in, I nearly outbraked himself a little bit, so that's what kept me alive really. Otherwise he would have been round me and gone.
And it seems like Croft really does induce some close racing. I urge you at the end of tonight to go back and watch the stream, because between 4th and 8th place, pretty much, on the run to the line, there were 4 wide. It was absolutely brilliant. Did you find that in race 1, or were you more or less left to your own devices trying to extend that lead gap?
I think we're all a little bit responsible for our own little bits of contact. Obviously, I hit Nathan in the hairpin, which I'm sorry for. Then the lap after that, I got hit by Jordan, which put me back behind Nathan. So in a way, it was a redress, really. And then got my way back in front. I think Jordan was maybe a bit off the race pace, which held Nathan up. But honestly, it was the track's good for racing. It's not my favourite by quite a long stretch, but I enjoyed that one.
Well, it's not your favourite. You've managed to pick up 1 win. You reckon you can make it 2 in race 2 of the night?
We'll have to see. It all comes down to a bit of luck, really. Who chooses to go where? How many wide we will end up?
6.
How many dive bombs there will be with contact? We will see. I'm sure it's going to be a really good one to see.
It's absolutely brilliant to watch, I have to say, Charlie. So massive congratulations on the win in race number 1 tonight. And hopefully in 20 minutes' time, we'll be talking to you again after maybe another win in race 2.
Thank you.
Always good to chat with Charlie. Carl Felvis, it may have seemed like at a point in that race, the win was off the cards in the TOCA Seniors. On the very final lap, we saw that you managed to get through and past the car that was separating you. I think at the time, who was it? We'll have to look back. Was it Elliot Newbury potentially, or Elliot Dalton Ayres? We saw you getting closer and closer and closer to Jordan Taylor. That final lap, that must have been a monster lap.
Yeah, it was a good lap. I mean, slipstream is major in these cars, so I was sat in the tow for a long time onto the penultimate laps, and then found a gap, got onto the back of Jordan, and I mean, I know Jordan, I know how he races. I knew it was going to be a hard fight. I mean, bit of contact, but Robin's racing at the end of the day, and made the move stick.
It will be it will be good to watch race 2, I think, because I don't really know how to word it. That race 1, that was a turn up for the books. That was a very, very quick start to your race. One thing led to another, and unfortunately it didn't quite go your way. And then all of a sudden, where did you unlock that pace? Because it was the same at Silverstone. You just seemed to unlock that pace and have a monster comeback.
Like I say, didn't do much practice, so I think I'm still learning the track, still learning where to brake in certain corners, so I'm just improving each lap, and I seem to have quite good pace.
Brilliant. Well, we'll look forward to seeing you cut your way through the order from the latter stages of the grid in race 2. But 20 minutes time, hopefully we're chatting again.
Cheers, Jack.
So brilliant to have a quick word with Carl Felvis. Just before we get race number 2 underway, we will have another quick word from our sponsors. So welcome back to Croft, everybody, and welcome back to round number 2 of the TOCA Junior official E-Series. Race number 2 very shortly getting underway, a full reverse grid. We see Jake Wardle on pole position, Catherine Potter alongside towards the tail end of the order. Keep an eye on anybody inside sort of 18th to 26th place. The revs will rise and we will get race number 2 underway. Who will get the best start? What's going to happen into turn 1? All will be revealed. Race number 2 of the night gets underway. It's a good start from pole position and Jake Wardle. Catherine Potter tries to draw herself alongside, doesn't quite work. She may come under pressure from Gunnar Wright by the time we arrive at Clairvaux. So too is Ollie Wilcox. He's had a cracking start as well, maybe even 3 wide by the time we get to turn number 1. Carl Felvis in the background has had a really quick start as well and is trying to close in. Jake Wardle just about navigates Clairvaux and keeps it within those track limits. Thomas Potter rumbling through the gravel, and then it's everybody else thereafter. Do we all get through? No, unfortunately we've lost a couple of drivers. Leo Bell pointing the wrong way. Peter Cornelius gets caught up in that, and so too does Dino Roland. He comes firing back into the order and collects Nathan Williams, I think, who was involved as well. Also dropping down the order is Aaron Beattie. Finley has had a poor start to the race and has been caught up in something there as well. So there's been some big names drop down the order. Where is Charlie Devlin? Charlie Devlin up into 18th place. We may now see a change for the lead. Gunnar Wright bounces off the curb, and I think that washes him wide into Jake Wardle. So Jake Wardle drops down into 2nd place. Gunnar Wright now leading the field. Tom Potter, after running slightly wide at turn 1, has come firing up the order, and he's up into 3rd place already. Back to what is now, I think that's Sam Chilton getting involved, is it? No, that's Ollie Hutton fighting away with Jordan Taylor. Catherine Potter has a slow run through the Jim Clark S's and finds herself dropping down the order and hemorrhaging places. Jordan Taylor has had a flying start to the race. Big moments in the background. A couple of cars going deep on the brakes. Cold tyres struggling to extract the performance in the early stages. Sam Chilton in the bottom right-hand side of your screen. You can see he's being hunted down by Harry Dios, but he's trying to keep tabs on Oliver Watson up the road. Ollie Watson And Kyle Felvis, there he is, he's flying through the order. Unfortunately for Kyle Felvis, following him is Charlie Devlin. So Charlie Devlin will be applying that pressure. Elliot Dalton-Ayres has had a cracking start to the race as well, and he's already up into 10th place. A bit of contact through the final corner between Sam Chilton and Ollie Watson. And the first lap of the race already in the books. That was a very, very busy first lap indeed. Nathan Williams, after that contact at the start of the race, is still down in 18th place. The run towards turn 1 for Sam Chilton looks rather quiet. It's top 3 running around together, and everybody else thereafter being led by Sam Chilton, albeit he's got what looks like a very angry Jordan Taylor in tow, desperate to try and get the win in race number 2 for the TOCA Seniors. You never even know, maybe the win outright. Side by side through the chicane we go for everybody. Contact, however, and involved is Ollie Watson. Involved is who else trying to keep up? I think Ollie Watson, Ollie Hutton is involved. Elliot Newbury got caught up in that one as well. Matt Raid has had a shortcoming elsewhere out on circuit. Sam Chilton has lost the position. Kyle Felvis has lost out to Charlie Devlin. So Charlie's on a mission, and a big hit in the wall. There goes Charlie Devlin. Unfortunately, contact between Charlie Devlin and Harry Diot, who ran wide on the exit to Tower Bend. That fired him across the road and unfortunately into the path of Charlie Devlin. So Nathan Williams, a few moments ago, he was in 18th place. We look now, he's right the way up into 9th. So Thomas Potter has taken the lead of the race from Gunnar Wright and Jake Wardle. Leaving those two to battle might just about be the best thing to do for Thomas Potter. So after the damage in race number 1, race 2 is going his way. Finley finds himself looking the wrong way on the entry in towards Sunny Inn. Oliver Watson arrived very quickly, pointing the wrong way, so I don't know whether he grabbed a bit of grass on the brakes, and unfortunately that just dropped him into a bit of a spin. So Thomas Potter, 1.5 seconds to the good at the front of the order. There is Nathan Williams, he's on the coattails of Gabriel Norse. Kyle Felvis that little bit further up the road in 8th place now. No, in 7th place, pardon me. Jordan Taylor right the way up into 4th place. The fastest lap of the race is being traded around. At the moment, it does go the way of Jordan Taylor of a 1 minute 45.617. We know that the drivers can go at least 1 second quicker, as we saw in qualifying. There's maybe even 1.5, 2 seconds left in it throughout this race, dependent on traffic and the aerodynamic assistance you can get from those cars up the road. Ollie Hutton has had a unscheduled dive into the pit lane for him. Charlie Devlin is going to try and climb his way back up through the order, but down in 19th place with 15 minutes of the race to go. It's going to be a very tall order. Riding on board with Jordan Taylor, big lunge up the inside, and clever driving from Jordan Taylor. I don't think he was going for the move, he just wanted to force Jake Wardle into a mistake, and I think Jake Wardle more or less took the bait on that one. Jordan Taylor found the gap and made sure that he struck as soon as that door was unlocked. So now we've got Jordan Taylor up into 3rd place overall, leading the senior class. The next car is Kyle Felvis. We saw Jordan Taylor and Kyle Felvis swap around for the race win on the very final lap of race number 1. Kyle Felvis up into 7th place, running through the grass and the gravel is Gunnar Wright, maybe just keeping an eye too long onto that rearview mirror. There is Nathan Williams really starting to apply that pressure onto Kyle Felvis now. He's got through and past Gabriel Norse. Will it be a look to the inside for Nathan Williams? Yes, it will, but the door was closed, and Kyle Felvis driving a very wide TOCA Junior, but not wide enough. Late on the brakes up the inside goes Nathan Williams. Kyle Felvis just about holds on to the outside. It will be the inside for the hairpin. Nathan Williams will look for the cutback. At some point he's got to turn in. Dino Rowlands has found himself pointing the wrong way, and the battle between Kyle Felvis and Nathan Williams for the moment goes the way of Kyle Felvis, albeit Gabriel Norse is getting back in on this as well. We've seen cars go 3 wide in towards turn 1. I don't think we'll be so lucky this time, as Nathan Williams just that little bit too far away. Jake Wardle applying pressure onto Jordan Taylor for 3rd place. In turn, he's doing the same to Gunnar Wright. Goes for 2nd place. Jordan Taylor up the inside by the time we arrive at Hawthorne Bend. And there's still contact between the pair of them. Watch out for that tyre bale. They both managed to navigate the chicane. Jordan Taylor is up into 2nd place now. So Jordan Taylor on an absolute mission, but he's got 5.1 seconds to make up on Thomas Potter, and that's 5.1 seconds unaided from any sort of aerodynamic assistance, whilst also fending off the attentions of the cars behind, who are all 3 wide. Involved in that is Sam Chilton, Jake Wardle, and Gunnar Wright. Elliot Dalton-Ayres is trying to pick up the pieces and work his way through. Just sat in the background there is Nathan Williams and Kyle Felvis, and unfortunately Gunnar Wright goes for a spin, heads towards the scenery, and we won't see anything further from Gunnar Wright inside that top 10, unfortunately, as he hemorrhages places and right the way down in 15th, 16th, maybe even 17th place. Yeah, and continues to drop. Jake Wardle now trying to hold on to 4th place. It's not going to work for him as he gets elbowed wide by Elliot Dalton-Ayres, who goes flying through. Nathan Williams goes through the same gap. Kyle Felbus tries to do the same, and I think we'll just about do it. Nathan Williams looking to the outside. It will become the inside of Elliot Dalton-Ayres by the time they're on the brakes in towards the complex, and they're still absolutely side by side. Can Elliot Dalton-Ayres do anything about this attack? Let's have a look. Kyle Felbus looks for that later apex. He wants to get the both of them here. You can see it, can't you? Heading on towards the start-finish line. A flick of oversteer from Elliot Dalton-Ayres. That will affect his momentum. And we may just about see Nathan Williams into 4th place by the time we arrive at Clairvaux. That compact in a straight line. It doesn't need to happen. You know he's there. Just keep that wheel straight. Elliot Dalton-Ayres now decides to let Nathan Williams through. It's not worth fighting. Contact between himself and Kyle Felbus puts them both through the gravel. Kyle Felbus up into 5th place. Gabriel Norse capitalises on that up into 6th place. Elliot Dalton-Ayres down into 7th, unfortunately. Thomas Potter's lead remains at 5.1 seconds. Jordan Taylor still giving chase. 12 minutes of the race to go. And it's only going to get closer from here on out as we see those battles close in. And look at that, Sam Chilton and Nathan Williams completely 4 wheels on the grass. Sam Chilton was really fighting that, but I think those dirty tyres, struggles to get the car slowed down, and off towards the grass he will go. Does manage to get rejoined, albeit that battle has evaporated now. However, he's fallen into the hands of Gabriel Norse, Elliot Dalton-Ayres and Albert Henriksen Bell. We're seeing that battle slowly start to evolve as well. Kyle Felbus is now on the coattails of Nathan Williams. He wants to stick with him because he wants to get his way back towards Nathan Williams. Big moments as we are riding on board with Sam Chilton. Albert Henriksen Bell dives his way to the inside by the time we get to Sunny in. Sunny out, no opportunity presents itself for Sam Chilton. So your order, Thomas Potter leads by 5.5 seconds now. He's extending that lead margin. Jordan Taylor in 2nd place, leading the TOCA Seniors. Nathan Williams in 3rd place, under big pressure from Kyle Felbus, who will be gunning for 2 from 2 this evening. He wants to get back onto the top step of the podium in TOCA Seniors, as we saw in race number 1. Gabriel Norse in 5th place ahead of Elliot Dalton-Ayres. And I think everybody else thereafter, because Albert Henriksen Bell is trying to work his way through and past Elliot Dalton-Ayres, whilst also trying not to lose out to Sam Chilton. Jake Wardle with the best seats in the house. Elliot Newbury will be watching it all unfold in front of him, trying to make the most of those cars battling up the road. Riding on board with Sam Chilton now, who's losing out to Albert Henriksen Bell in a straight line. I think that's just because of how close Albert is to the rear wing of Elliot Dalton-Ayres. Through Clairvaux, a flick of oversteer, gets the car back under his spell and continues on once again at Hawthorne Bend. But very much the same story for Charlie Devlin. His fastest lap so far, 1 minute 44.474. And as we look further down the order, Finley fighting away with Harry Dios. Matt Reid will see that in his rearview mirror. Finley dives to the inside by way of a defence. I don't think it's going to be enough. So Harry Dios in 21st place, Finley in 22nd, on board with Charlie Devlin, of course recovering from the earlier accident after a win in race 1, now potentially carrying damage after the contact between himself and Harry Dios. Up into 14th place, on the brakes up the inside. And speaking of, is that Ollie Hutton back off the road? Yes, it is. Ollie Hutton has had a moment and has found himself pointing the wrong way on the exit of Tower Bend. Back up to Jake Wardle, who has a look to the outside of Sam Chilton, has another little look through Sunny in, and Sunny out. That slight lift he had to take is going to leave him vulnerable to Elliot Newbury on the run towards the complex. Thomas Potter's lead remains at 5.5 seconds, albeit Nathan Williams now, he's only half a second away from Jordan Taylor. That will be a position overall, but not in class. So if they do battle, big moment for Jake Wardle, too eager on the throttle. I think he just clipped the grass as well, and that's been him through 180 degrees. Nathan Williams and Jordan Taylor, if they battle, Kyle Felbus will be with them, and then we will see the battle for the lead in TOCA Seniors resume, much like we saw in race number 1, albeit there'll be a bit more than a lap to try and deal with it on this occasion. Fastest lap of the race goes the way of Nathan Williams, a 1 minute 44.352 posted on the lap prior. Nathan Williams is closing down and he's doing what he can to work his way through and past Jordan Taylor by minimising the time lost as well. Nathan Williams, the fastest car on circuit, as we say, and is closing in Thomas Potter at around about a second a lap. Don't think that will be enough if he gets through and past the catch Thomas Potter, barring any mistakes, but Nathan Williams does get through and past Jordan Taylor. with very minimal time lost. That is what Jordan will have wanted as well, whilst losing a position ain't great. If he can now just get onto the aerodynamic assistance of Nathan Williams and sits there, we might just see him build a gap over himself and Kyle Fulvers for the lead in TOCA Seniors. Or are they going to fight? In towards Sunny Inn they will go. No, Nathan Williams remains in front. Jordan Taylor doesn't want to fight it. Albert Henriksen Bell through and past Elliot Dalton Ayres. Sam Chilton has had a moment through the Jim Clark S's and finds himself off the road. Elliot Dalton Ayres and Albert Henriksen Bell trading a bit of paint at Sunny out. They continue on in the order in which they arrived, 6th and 7th respectively. Peter Cornelius in 13th place. Back up to Jordan Taylor we will go, who is in 3rd place. But he's losing out to Nathan Williams. We're going to see a battle for 3rd and 4th place respectively in a few moments' time, because Jordan Taylor dropping away from Nathan Williams and into the clutches of Kyle Fulvers. Contact, unfortunately, between Ollie Watson and Harry Dios, so those two lose a bit of time. Harry Dios' race is going from bad to worse. There's Jordan Taylor. Nathan Williams up the road. He's losing time to Kyle Fulvers now. So Jordan Taylor, Kyle Fulvers fighting for the lead in TOCA Seniors, and 5.5 seconds becomes 4.5 seconds for Thomas Potter. We said it's the second lap. There's 7 minutes of the race to go. By my maths, that's not enough time, but that doesn't include any sort of minor mistakes, whether it's a slight lockup, too eager on the throttle, whatever it may be. Thomas Potter needs to control this race from the front, monitor that gap and do what he can to hold on to the lead. Nathan Williams is on his way well and truly. Kyle Fulvers is only 6/10 away from Jordan Taylor. You can see the Dayglow yellow, blue and black alarm company car of Jordan Taylor. That gap is being eaten into by the black and bright orange TOCA Junior in the hands of Kyle Fulvers. Those two will close in. Again, Gabriel Norse has had a under the radar performance and he's right away up into 5th place. Last time through, Nathan Williams 1.2 seconds faster than Tom Potter. So Tom is really going to have to try and extend that lead margin. If anything, 4 seconds now the gap. With the adjusted times, it might just be enough. Albert Henriksen Bell really bringing the fight to Elliot Dalton Ayres, who's driving the widest TOCA Junior that he can find. And this is for the final spot inside the top 6. We do see a response from Thomas Potter, however, with his personal best sector 2. So we'll keep an eye on the times. They both go through. Thomas Potter a 45.410. Nathan Williams a 44.2. Still 1.2 seconds quicker. Last time through, Nathan Williams another fastest lap of the race, a 1 minute 44.221. Jordan Taylor reacts to the ever approaching Kyle Fulvers. He sets his personal fastest, but he's still a tenth slower than what Kyle Fulvers is doing. So riding on board with Kyle Fulvers here, we might see the move closing. Contact between the pair of them. They do try and I think help each other down the straight, or maybe push Jordan Taylor into a bit of overspeed that he doesn't account for on the brakes. Moving over in the braking area for Jordan Taylor, continuing to close that gap, albeit his trajectory didn't change. So I'm sure as far as the stewards are aware, that's more than okay. Made his intentions known and then stuck to them. Kyle Fulvers really starting to apply that pressure. Charlie Devlin has now got through and past Leo Bell for 9th place. What a comeback drive it has been for Charlie. Really starting to wrangle any point he can get out of this. Kyle Fulvers to the inside on the run through the quick right-hander at Barcroft in towards Sunny Inn. A bit of contact between the pair of them, but Kyle Fulvers is through. Kyle Fulvers up into 3rd place outright and now leading the TOCA Senior class. Jordan Taylor will try and stick with him for the final few laps left in this race. The lead margin down to 2.7 seconds now. Thomas Potter really starting to lose time to Nathan Williams over the previous couple of laps. Through the hairpin goes Thomas Potter. He will get his foot to the floor once again in an effort to try and run away from Nathan Williams. Elliot Dalton Ayres dropping down the order. He's had a moment somewhere, and looking at the tyre smoke in the background, Elliot Dalton Ayres has indeed lost out to Albert Henriksen Bell. Charlie Devlin, a few moments ago, we were congratulating him up into 9th place. He's up into 7th now, so he's trying to recover as many points as possible. And Nathan Williams with another fastest lap of the race, a 1 minute 44.019. Thomas Potter is responding. Last time through, he set his personal fastest lap of the race of a 45.0. That was still a second slower than Nathan Williams, so Nathan Williams will be closing in, looming larger and larger in that rear view mirror. 3.5 minutes to go. Going to be close, isn't it? Through Tower Bend, riding on board with Nathan Williams. Visually, I think the closer you get to a car, he almost pushes you on that little bit more. It drives you to close that gap as you've got that visual reference to really rely upon. Thomas Potter up the road is doing exactly that for Nathan Williams. Kyle Felbert has brought about a bit of a gap over Jordan Taylor, only 0.7 of a second, so still within the aerodynamic range, albeit it will take a mistake now, I think, from Kyle Felbert to try and get back into the clutches of Jordan Taylor. Just in the background, we're trying to figure out exactly who deserves driver of the round. I think it more needs to be drivers of the round this evening. Catherine Potter amongst a brilliant battle here. Harry Dios up the road. She's got Matt Reid behind her, followed by Finley TW, of course, recovering from the incident he had just 2 laps to go. In towards Tower Bend. Matt Reid has a look, has a dive on the brakes up the inside, but loses the rear of the car. And unfortunately, a place gained turns into a place lost, and potentially 2 places lost, 3 places lost, as through will go Ollie Wilcox and George Wright. There is Charlie Devlin. He's now trying to fight his way through and past Elliot Newbury. He's got Albert Henriksen Bell behind him. That will be for 4th place in the TOCA Junior class. So a look to the inside. No, Elliot Newbury is wise to the move, holds the middle of the circuit and then cuts back over. Charlie Devlin wants to get through and by, as he doesn't want to lose out to Albert Henriksen Bell, who is there. 1.2 seconds the lead margin. The leaders have already gone through and crossed the line, so there's going to be 1 more lap left in this for Nathan Williams to close in on Thomas Potter. Last time through, 1.1 seconds was gained by Nathan Williams over Thomas Potter. They've crossed the line already. We've still got a lap to go, and there's only a second between them. We might see a change for the lead on the very final lap of the race. Charlie Devlin, Elliot Newbury and Albert Henriksen Bell all fighting away 3 wide into Tower Bend. Albert Henriksen Bell, what a move up the inside. He saw the 2 battling, took the wider entry, fights his way up the inside, and that's Albert Henriksen Bell up into 6th place. For him now, that is going to be 4th place in the TOCA Juniors. Charlie Devlin and Elliot Newbury still scrapping away. This is absolutely brilliant stuff on show. And of course, Elliot Newbury and Charlie Devlin are teammates, so they may be working together here. Thomas Potter, he's got 1 lap left, and 0.7 of a second, 0.6 of a second is all that separates them. It's going to be very, very close indeed. So over the line we will go on to the final lap of the race. Thomas Potter is under big pressure. We arrive at turn 1 side by side. Nathan Williams is in front on the timing screen. He's holding the middle of the road. Thomas Potter will have the inside. Can he be late enough on the brakes? Sweeping all the way around the outside is Nathan Williams. Can he keep it within track limits? There's contact between the pair of them, but Nathan Williams goes through to take the lead on the very final lap of the race in race number 2. Here at Croft in the TOCA Juniors official eSeries. Through the chicane goes Nathan Williams, and that will be through and away. So Nathan Williams snatches the lead away in the potential win outright, and the win in the TOCA Junior class from Thomas Potter. But Tom Potter in 2nd place outright will still take 2nd place in the TOCA Junior class if you can keep it within those white lines. Kyle Felbert still leading TOCA Seniors rather comfortably by 1.4 seconds over Jordan Taylor. Everybody else, however, far from decided. Gabriel Norse running a quiet race in what is 5th place, but now looking at Leo Bell, he wants to get through and by Charlie Devlin and Elliot Newbury. Leo Bell doesn't need to do it. He should still pick up 3rd place in the TOCA Seniors, but Charlie Devlin and Elliot Newbury really starting to scrap away now. That will be for 4th and 5th place in the TOCA Senior, the TOCA Junior class, pardon me. I know that will be for 5th and 6th place. Apologies. And as they continue to fight, they are now just getting in a battle amongst themselves. So that's allowing the cars of Elliot Newbury, Elliot Dalton Ayres, Leo Bell to get through. Elliot Newbury gets through and past Charlie Devlin. So the 2 teammates falling away. But for the final time this evening, Nathan Williams will come through and see the checkered flag first and take the win here at Croft for race number 2 of the evening. Thomas Potter, what a drive to finish in 2nd place. 2 seconds adrift of Nathan Williams. Carl Felbert makes it 2 from 2 and wins the TOCA Seniors. Eric Croft third overall. Jordan Taylor over the line in fourth place to finish second in the TOCA Seniors. Gabriel North through in fifth place to round out your TOCA Junior podium. Alba Henriksen Bell over the line in sixth place. Leo Bell towards the line now, hunted down by the cars behind. But will finish seventh overall and round out your TOCA Senior podium. Charlie Devlin, Elliot Dalton-Ayres and Elliot Newbury round out your top 10, followed then by the cars of Jacob Gannon, Jake Critchley, Sam Chilton, Peter Cornelius and Dino Rowlands. Over the line now comes Aaron Beattie. It's Aaron Beattie over the line, followed by Jack Price. It will be Jake Wardle over the line next, and Ollie Watson. We will await his appearance in the background. He should just be arriving out of the hairpin in a couple of seconds' time. There is Ollie Watson. So Oliver Watson towards the line before we get another bit of a gap back to Harry Dios. Who is he being hunted down? No, he appears on his own. We've seen him in a good battle. So over the line goes Oliver Watson. Harry Dios will come towards the line with a bit of a train behind him. We've got Finley over the line, who will finish in 21st place. And then will it be Catherine Potter or will it be Matt Raid? Over the line they go side by side. Catherine Potter just about gets it by around about a tenth of a second over Matt Raid. Ollie Wilcox will be the next car to come through, followed by Gunnar Wright. We've already seen Ollie Hutton over the line, a lap down to finish in 26th place. Over the line there goes Ollie Wilcox, and to round out your cars finishing on the lead lap, it is going to be Gunnar Wright. Wow, what an advert that is for the TOCA Juniors official E-Series. Best thing is, we get to do it all again next week, don't we? But prior to wishing our farewells, let's try and grab a quick word with our drivers. We'll do that in a few moments' time, actually. Let's gather them up, and in the meantime, we'll have a quick word from our sponsors. Welcome back to Croft, everybody, and let's hope your heart rate has at least reduced from that race. That was so busy, absolutely action-packed from start to finish. Nathan Williams joins us in the commentary box. At the start of that race, would you have counted yourself in for the win?
Definitely not. I was very disappointed from the start. I felt I did quite well, then just got involved in the carnage. I saw Charlie drive up the road, and then I thought, from now, I just want to catch him and just see what happens. And then the race just got better and better. Got into P2 with a 7-second gap. I was just like, I'll put my head down to see where I get, and it worked out, thankfully.
Yeah, we saw the incident at the start of the race and thought, right, okay, now comes the comeback drive for Nathan, and then an unfortunate incident between Charlie Devlin and Harry Dios, and all of a sudden you shot up the order, and watching that gap just diminish more and more between yourself and Thomas Potter on the final lap, or the final few laps, was absolutely brilliant. We could see you were getting closer. But to bounce back off a good race one, an even better race two, you came into this evening leading the championship. You're definitely going to leave leading the championship. That's got to be a good reason to hold your head high going into Brands Hatch next week.
Yeah, I was coming to this round, I wasn't 100% confident. I know how fast Charlie is in these cars, and I think he's my main competition in the junior championship. So I was a little bit worried with that, but I think coming out of here, I've definitely learned how to drive the car a lot better in this round, and obviously I think I'm looking forward much more to the final two rounds, and hopefully I can continue the momentum for them.
And of those final two, Brands Hatch and Alton, is there one you're favouring more than the other?
I'm very looking forward to Alton, because it's the week before I do my first real life race at Alton Park, so it'll be good some practice for that.
Yeah, great stuff. I mean, no better practice either. But I mean, a massive congratulations. You worked hard for that in the second race, and a good first race as well. So, massive thank you for joining us. Huge congratulations as well on the race 2 win, and best of luck for next week if we don't talk to you before then.
Thank you.
So great to chat to you, Nathan Williams. Carl Felvis, again, it just seems to happen. Whatever race you're in, I end up talking to you, so I do apologise. But wow, that's 2 from 2. Again, a bit of a comeback drive there, and then really fought your way through and past Jordan Taylor, and from then you were through and away. But a double class race win, you can't complain, can you?
No, definitely not. I mean, came into tonight not really hoping for much, just to put some solid points on the table, because obviously I didn't do much practice. But to walk away with 2 wins, I'm definitely over the moon with that.
And for Brands Hatch next week, if this is what you can do with little practice, what will you be able to do if you can afford yourself a bit more time to get out there and turn some laps?
Oh, hopefully we'll be able to fight for the overall win. I mean, you've got Nathan, he's quick, fought him in a lot of championships before. We've always had good battles, so hopefully I can bring it to the overall.
Well, we'll look forward to it. Massive congratulations. I think you're the first person so far this season to win both races in class in one evening. So congratulations, Kyle. And we'll see you at Brands Hatch in a week's time.
Thanks, Jack.
Great to chat to Kyle. And our driver of the round this evening, Elliot Newbury, welcome into the commentary box. Wow, you had a busy night, didn't you?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Found people to battle with, and I tried my best in qualifying, but didn't go to plan. But yeah, it was lots of fun.
What do you think it is about these cars that just sort of gels with some and maybe not with others? We understand that they've not got vast power, but they're light, they're nimble. That power delivery seems to be fairly instant. Is it a quick little thing to drive? Do you enjoy it?
Yeah, they're a lot of fun. Sometimes can be very unpredictable. So as you've probably seen, people spinning, and yeah, it's a lot of hard work to get the car right and set up, which yeah, that's where all the practice goes into.
And what can we expect from you at Brands Hatch?
Hopefully 2 finishes.
well, best of luck for the 2 finishes, Elliot. Massive congratulations tonight. You are our driver of the round, and we look forward to speaking to you again in a week's time at Brands Hatch.
Thank you very much.
Great to chat to Elliot Newbury, your driver of the round here this evening at Croft. Let's have a look at how this evening has affected the championship in class. So in the junior category, Nathan Williams extends that lead margin. He came into tonight 4 points clear of Charlie Devlin. He leads over 10 points clear of Charlie Devlin on 75 points. Charlie on 62, only 3 points clear of Albert Henriksen Bell. 5 points back from him, we've got Gabriel Norson. Elliot Dalton has in 5th place on 51 points before you get towards the slightly larger gap. So we'll let you look through those points of your own accord a little bit further down the order. As for the seniors, Kyle Felvis extends his lead over Jordan Taylor by 10 points. 79 points Kyle Felvis is on. Jordan Taylor on 69 points. Leo Bell on 56. Jacob Gannon on 42. Only a point clear of Peter Cornelius. That is your top 5 in the seniors. And once again, I'll let you look through the rest of the order at your own convenience. But Croft tonight, wow, what an advert. It gets better every week. We say it every week we race here at Perfect Acceleration Sim Racing. It just gets better and better and better. And we're only at the halfway point. We've still got Brands Hatch, the Indy layout, to go next week on the 20th of March. On the 27th of March, I'm looking forward to that. Alton Park, the island layout, so heavy braking zones, hairpins, fast corners, slow corners, stacks of undulation change. That will be one to come back for, and one you will watch again and again and again. So we look forward to seeing you next week. Myself, Jack Well, in the commentary box, will thank you all for coming along to watch along. A massive congratulations and a thank you to everybody that took part this evening. Tom O'Farrell, again, somehow keeping up with all of the action and bringing you the beautiful pictures you saw this evening. And of course, Mick Sutton, the series organiser here at Perfect Acceleration Sim Racing. We wish you a very pleasant rest of your evening, and we'll see you next week at Brands Hatch. Bye-bye.